Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Grenade APW mod, which is being released by user Degenerate Deck as another entry in the Commonwealth Weaponry expansion. Boy, they've really been cranking out a lot of these recently, and they are always wonderful, and what this particular glorious piece of work is adding in is a lovely new rotary grenade launcher based off of the Fallout New Vegas 25mm Grenade APW. And this thing is a whole lot of fun because, I mean, come on, who doesn't love grenade launchers, and especially one that can hold 12 grenades inside of its rotary magazine there. It's just fun. So let's jump on over here and have a look at exactly what all we are getting with the Grenade APW, which in its most basic and standard of forms will have a base damage of 105 using a 25mm grenade with a firing rate of 13, range of 119, accuracy of 149 for a weight of 9.4. Honestly, surprisingly low in my opinion for what it is, but not too shabby. And as you can see, this thing is pretty darn good looking. You can certainly see the resemblance to the Fallout New Vegas Grenade APW, but of course, if I'm remembering correctly on that one, it was just like a normal magazine, whereas this one is a drum, which means you got a lot more shots to shoot before you've got to reload, and that is, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, one of the minor issues I have with this thing, just because it's so slow to reload. But nonetheless, it is a great grenade launcher with a ton of modifications to allow you to really change this thing up to your own preferences, add more damage, and of course change up styling. All in all, there's over 60 different attachments, including different ammunition types, so they can get kind of fun in there, which is always great to see. But all in all, it is just a fun and awesome weapon to play around with. So as for how you do get your hands on one of these things, well, first and foremost, you are going to need a mod requirement, that being the munitions mod. This does, of course, use a new 25mm grenade, which is not normally in the game, so yes, you will need munitions for that to happen. Once you've got that installed, though, you'll start finding these on bosses and in shops at level 25. So you won't have to wait too long, and I find it amusing that they are found on bosses and not just normal enemies because, well, this thing would hurt a lot if you get shot with it, so that's going to make some tough bosses, but very nice indeed. Plus, there are also two unique versions of this weapon out there in the world that you can go and find if you don't want to wait till level 25. Now let's go head on over to the weapon workbench to talk about the different modifications we do have, and like I said, we've got a good few. Now, one of the smaller categories, though, here is actually the receiver category itself, because a lot of the damage on this gun really more gets changed by the ammo types rather than the receivers, but still, we've got the pretty typical stuff in here of standard, calibrated, heavy, tuned, etc. The heavy frame is going to be the most damage you can add from the receiver, and then up that even further with the ammo. But still, you know, a lot of good things in here for, like, improved reload speed, etc. So you might go with lower damage for improved reload speed, which, not a bad option with this gun. In the barrel category, we've got a short, medium, and long, as well as a light variant of each of these. I do like the look of the light ones there, very nice grooving on them. Now in the stock category, we've got a short, full, gunslinger, recoil compensating, marksman, short, light stock, folding stock, and a light recoil compensating. I think my favorite is the folding stock just because, well, it looks cool. Kind of reminds me of a spaz shotgun, and that's just fun. Now, then in the grenade category, or ammo rather, the standard, of course, is an explosive grenade, but we've got bean bags to knock enemies over, slug rounds to just hit them hard, smoke rounds to inhibit visibility, timed grenades for 5-second timer being added to it, gas grenades to do some damage over time, high explosive for just, you know, really big booms, incendiary for some fire, pulse grenades to, help take out robots and such, and finally a plasma grenade, which is going to be the most damaging on the list, with 175 physical and 150 energy damage. And yeah, it's gonna kill things real good. Very nice, though. We'll take rank 2 in science and rank 2 in demolition expert, so it's gonna be a little while before you can get to this thing. But yeah, a lot of fun weapons in here, or well, ammo types, including some interesting utilitarian ones like the beanbag rounds that I just find amusing. Now, after that, we have in the sights category a pretty decent selection of a folded iron sight, it folded out, a glow version, reflex, hollow, ladder hollow sight, which I think is my favorite. It's a very cool little sight there, and finally a short scope. Now, then we have the muzzle category where we've got nothing, a barrel extension, spiked muzzle, compensator, muzzle brake, or stabilizer. And then a foregrip where we've either got the standard, heavy, comfort, or light version if you want it to look a bit more polymer rather than wood. And then finally we've got the accessory category where we've got some pretty fun stuff in here. You know, some pretty typical things like bayonets, flashlights, carry handles, heat shields, but then we have charms that'll change up different aspects of the gun, like a strength charm to improve bash damage, perception charm for range, endurance for damage resist, charisma for intimidation chance, intelligence for critical hit improvements, agility for better reload speed, and finally the luck charm for improved critical damage. So some pretty fun ones in there. I do quite like those little charms. They're pretty nifty. And that is it for the modifications on this gun. We've got quite a few, and they do offer a lot of options for you to modify this grenade into a variety of things. So let's take a look at this thing in practice, of course, starting with our standard version here. And, well, fire grenades at short range. This seems like a bad plan. I'm gonna back up a little. And fire. And there we go, a wonderful and beautiful thud to each shot that I always love for grenade launchers. And of course, an arc you are going to have to deal with, and these grenades actually do drop pretty quick. Outside of the incredibly slow reload speed, as you can see as we are still reloading, my other main complaint is the arc on these things is pretty minimal, so you are going to have to aim up quite a bit to hit what you're wanting to, but of course that can also be improved by some of the modifications there, which is always nice, but at the base level, it's a pretty big arc. Now, as for the slow reload speed, I should mention that besides the required munitions mod, this is compatible with bullet count reloaded, because right now in vanilla, if I shoot one grenade, I'm gonna have to reload all 12 grenades, which is awful. But of course, with bullet count reloaded, it means it'll just do the one. So even though it's not required, I would highly recommend bullet count reloaded, because that'll just make your life a lot easier if you're trying to just reload a couple of grenades. But yeah, this thing is a pretty slow beast, both in reloading and firing, but with the damage potential, it's well worth it. So let's take a look at my two modified versions. I did make a tactical riot one with the beanbag rounds, which I'm intrigued to see if it'll work on a Deathclaw. I haven't tested that out yet, but we will in a moment. But let's grab that one here and fire it first. And there we go. Now you can see on that one, its drop wasn't too bad because I did do some of the modifications to help with it have less, as well as a reload improvement. I've got the reload improving charm on there, which is going noticeably quicker, which is very nice, but still slow. And boy, I actually really do love this hollow sight. It is fun. It is just a hollow sight version of the standard in-game, or the standard, you know, ladder sight on this thing, which is pretty nifty. And with those beanbags, we were actually just able to hit a normal target without exploding everything nearby. But of course, then I've got the recoil compensating plasma grenade one, which was the highest I was able to get damage up to with my character, considering the different, stat requirements we did need, like demolition experts. We got 175 on the physical, 150 on the energy, and not too bad overall, but still gonna be slow to reload. What a fun one. And plasma, always fun. There we go. It does have a timer on it for that particular one, and you can see this one has a much higher fire rate for shooting them as they go out, so you can really just pepper the whole area with plasma grenades, which is pretty entertaining. But they do have a timer on them, like with the just normal timed grenades, so it can make it a little bit more interesting to try and hit something. But let's take a look at this thing against a Deathclaw, and I'm just intrigued if the riot shotgun will actually knock it down, because that's what it's meant to do. So let's pop in a Deathclaw there and find out. Hello, Deathclaw. Let's shoot you in the belly with as many of these as we can. Oh my god, it did. It actually knocked him down. This is powerful enough to knock down a Deathclaw. Yeah, that's right. You stay down there, Deathclaw. It's not doing much damage because of, well, it's a beanbag round. But then we can pepper him with these. Yes, die, Deathclaw. Oh my god, that was the best combo ever. Knock him down with the riot shotgun one with the rubber rounds or beanbag rounds to it, and then just cover him in plasma grenades. That was amazing. In fact, let's make sure the tactical one is reloaded there. Excellent. And we're gonna do that again because that was just funny. I love it. I love it. And only one shot with this one this time. There we go. He's down. A little close, but nonetheless, pepper him with plasmas. Beautiful. And away he goes. God, I love this gun. Oh, it's just so much fun. Even at the base level with the normal grenade, it does a pretty good amount of damage. And when you add in additional perks, especially like demolition, to increase those explosive shots, and of course the various modifications, this thing is just so much fun. And now that I know that the beanbag rounds work on even a freaking Deathclaw, I'm having even more fun with this thing. So hopefully you have enjoyed this episode here today, and if you'd like to go check out this weapon for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you have a look at the link in the description of the video as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you have enjoyed this little mod video and you come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching as always. Well, have a good one.